Good morning and happy Tuesday. I'm so glad that you are back on our channel this morning for Try Something Tuesday. Yesterday was Memorial Day, and so what we're going to be doing today is a little flag craft. So all you need for this activity is paper, pencil, pen, some crayons, markers, or colored pencils, and a ruler. So go ahead and get those supplies together. You can pause me. Again, a quick shortcut is just by hitting the space bar. I'll pause. You need a ruler, paper, pencil or pen, and then some sort of red and blue coloring tools. So it can be crayon, marker, colored pencil, whatever you have around. So again, happy Memorial Day. I know that was yesterday, but we're still going to honor that today by making our flag activity. So this is a pretty straightforward activity. What you're going to need is a pencil, some paper, some red and blue either crayons, markers, colored pencils, paints, watercolors, whatever you've got around you want to work with. Just something to add a little bit of patriotic spirit. So once you have all of those things, come back to the video. But again, if you want to pause me to go get those things, a quick shortcut is just by hitting the space bar. So you'll also need a ruler today. That's really helpful if you have one. Just a ruler, pencil, or pen, something to color with, and your paper. Okay. So now that you should have all your supplies gathered, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I have a small piece of paper that I'm going to be working on today. It's kind of a large note card, so hopefully you'll be able to see okay. So what I'm going to do is on this page, I'm going to start by just making a dot. So when you think about the flag, you're going to make this dot at the corner of your blue section. So I have mine right there. That's really tiny. Hope you guys can see this. And then you're going to do a line straight across and straight up to block off that blue section of our flag. And again, if you have a ruler at home, I would encourage you to use that just to help you make your straight lines. Mine are not going to be perfect, but it's a little bit tricky on camera to keep them straight or to use a ruler. So the key thing is that you're going to start all your lines from the center dot. So I'm going to add just a couple lines in here. 1, 2. So once you have that done, you're going to go all the way around, adding sections and always starting at that centered point. Okay. So, once you have your lines, you want to make sure that you have an even number of sections. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sections. Great. We are good to go on to our next step. Okay, so once you have made absolute certain that you have an even number of sections, you're good to go on. This is super important because if you actually have an odd number, then your pattern won't match up and you won't have that cool wavy kind of optical illusion happening. So our next step, once we have made sure, I messed this up a couple times already, that's why I keep saying it. We're going to add some curved lines in. So every other section, you're going to add a curve like that, and you're going to keep going all the way around just every other section a curve. Okay, and I did it right this time because we're able to go all the way around and not have two sections in a row. So you're going to continue that pattern in those same spaces, doing curved and trying to keep them at the same level. So it'll kind of look like a broken up circle. Like that. And all the way until you start running out of space. So this one there's no more room, but I'm going to go back around because there's more room on some of these other arms. Okay, so now I have all of my lines every other, and so now what I'm going to go ahead and do is go back and connect those lines with not a curve but a U. So we're going to just start, I'll start right here in the center. I'm going to connect a U, and just like before, just go ahead and work your way all the way around the circle. That. And just continue. I'll erase that later. All the way around. And these don't have to be perfect. If they're a little bit wavy, that's okay. If they're some are a little bit flatter than others, that's okay too. But really, you want to make sure that you get crisp connections from one point to the other. Yeah, and I did find this activity to be pretty relaxing just because of the repetition of just making sure you're taking your time as you go through. It does kind of start to look a lot like a spider web to me. I think I've just got a couple more here. One more maybe. And I think that's it. Okay, so I've got them all connected. And like I said, I like to work in pencil for most projects, just starting off, because I do make a lot of mistakes like this, and so then I can go back and erase that before I move on to my next step. Our next step is adding some color. So I kept mine really simple and just did my red, white, and blue, and I colored every other section. So of course I want to keep this whole section blue in here. If you want, you can trace the lines, but you certainly don't have to. It is relaxing, but you definitely don't have to. So you just pick a section, color it, and then you're going to do every other. So I'm going to work out, but you can also work over. So you could do every other over and then go to this would be the next section, but we'll get there eventually. Either way, so you're just filling in, leaving some white. And then I do this one. And now we can move on over. So we're not going to fill this one, but we're going to fill this, keeping our pattern strong. This is where I also made a couple mistakes when I was doing some practice projects earlier. So just make sure that you're double checking which square you're filling. And it does help me to go kind of work in rows and rather than try to just guess where you're supposed to color. I think that if you want to get fancy with this project, there's a lot of options here. So, a couple things you could think about. If instead of doing the blue section the same as the rest of the flag, you wanted to leave it blank and maybe write something in there, you could do that. Or maybe you want to draw stars in instead and then just do the red and white following the same design. You could also take this pattern and go back and add some more detail. So if I wanted to maybe add stars on top of this, I could get, say, a black marker. And I could add in some stars. Maybe into all my blue spaces. You could also even just practice some line work in here. So if you just wanted in each of your spaces to make something a little bit fancier, you could easily go back and add, so like right now this one's simple, and I just colored in every other. So after I did my blue squares, I went in and continued that pattern with the red. But I could easily go back into this one and add some details to each of the squares. So maybe I wanted to make stripes in my red and following maybe that curved line that I made from the beginning. You could also do designs in your white squares. Do both, however you want to do this. It's your project. Oops, forgot those ones are U's. Or curves, I should say. So think about how you can maybe add some designs. I'm actually really liking this stripe pattern, so I might go back and add some stripes to this whole design because I really do like that. I think that makes it pop. But get creative. I think that with a project like this, patterns are really great because you can just pick one thing or a couple things and repeat them, and it's going to have a really cool effect since this is kind of an optical illusion point of view type project. So have fun and enjoy filling in the rest of your spaces with color, with pattern, and I hope that you had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Thank you again for joining me for our second edition of Try It Out Tuesday. I hope you'll join me again on Friday as we do our First Lady Friday program. If you have any questions or concerns at all about meal delivery or program, feel free to get a hold of us. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to hear how you're doing and if you're working on any of our projects. I would love, love, love to see your artwork. So if there's any way that you can email us a picture or send them in, we would love to see them. Or even just show us when you're stopping by for your food pickup or we're stopping by to deliver. I did end up finishing the detail work, the line work on my project, so I just wanted to show you how that turned out. So you definitely can make it your own and get a little fancy with your project today. I hope you enjoyed working on this with me, and I will see you again next week. Bye.